Hello, and welcome to another update on ICP. So I want to talk a little bit about the structure here on the 4-hour time frame because ICP has tried to bounce a little bit here from the area around the golden ratio level, around the 61.8 retracement at $4.52. I have a small bounce there. And the bounce is obviously moving into the direction of our first resistance area that we discussed in the last few videos. It's between $6.78 and $9.08. So it's really just a standard resistance area. The move down was, however, in 5 waves. And because we have a 5-wave move down, the next bounce could simply be a 3-wave move up. The problem is that the bounce is fairly weak. And I mean, it unfolded basically from where it needed to in this support area around the previous resistance and support, but obviously it's come down in 5 waves, so it's not necessarily bullish. And also the move to the upside from the 16th of November low is basically just a 3-wave move up. And from an Elliott wave point of view, guys, this is simply a corrective move up and could technically already be a wave 2. It's a bit weak though for all of the wave 2, so it should give us a larger bounce at least. That would be ideal. I would like to see that. I would simply not rely on that, right? So I had a question from one of our members in our community chat earlier today about this, so we can talk a little bit about that. Hope that helps. But you know, when I say I wouldn't rely on a larger bounce, there is no high probability setup, right? There's no, you know, if we deal with this, you know, if we have let's say a setup from Elliott wave perspective, what we ideally like to see is a 5-wave move up and a 3-wave move down. Here we have the opposite. We have a 3-wave move up and actually a 5-wave move down. And after a 5-wave move down, we would expect the 3-wave move up that happened, but it's quite small. So yeah, a larger one would be ideal, but obviously not guaranteed, and it's not a high probability setup because first of all, there is not the larger degree trend that supports this continuation to the upside. So there's just not the larger degree trend. And I mean, we've just come from an all-time low. So we can't rely on it. There's no strength there. If there was strength, the market would have held upper support and would have given us probably a micro 5-wave move up. But yeah, this is our support zone. It's 366 to 523. Ideally, we get another larger bounce, and then I would pay close attention to this resistance area. Now, the orange scenario is even more speculative because we have only a 3-wave move up and such a sharp pullback. Yeah, I mean, technically it could morph into something like a diagonal pattern, wave 1, wave 2. Then this would be an AB structure. Because of the depth of the pullback, it would have to be a B wave. It would likely not be a wave 4. And then one more high could give us a C wave in wave 3, then wave 4 and 5. So this is how it could morph into a larger 5-wave move, which could then be maybe the start of an even larger uptrend. But that's very speculative, and that has to do with these microstructures here. We discussed that a lot in previous video updates. So that should give you the relevant support and resistance levels, and also an explanation about the structure and why I'm not necessarily relying on another bounce. That gives you a good idea of why we use Elliott wave, because it helps us to identify the relevant risk levels, risk parameters, and the structure. It's all about reducing uncertainty. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, then also feel free to follow us on X for additional updates, news, and much more. We have a presence here as well. There are a lot of community members already here, interacting, asking questions and so on. So check it out. There are additional updates there. Feel free to check it out. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.